Hi, good morning, everybody. Oh, my goodness, what a day. What a week. Very busy week. Is everybody ready for the Super Bowl? I'm not going to tell you who my picks are because I don't want to make anybody mad if they're on the opposite team. I'll just, say, go. There you go. Anyway, it's freezing down here. My nose runs every time I come down because it's so cold in this office. But I just wanted to get on with some of these questions. They were really, really good ones this week. Some of them were hard. You guys are putting me to task. Oh. Hopefully, I can answer them well and answer them it doesn't take too long to answer all of these things. So I actually only picked 3 of the many that came through just because I think it's going to take too much time. So I'm going to look at my laptop because that's what has all the information on it, and it's also where the questions are logged on Facebook. So to those of you who are joining me, Dale, Howie, thanks for coming by. And let's start right now, right off with the questions. Okay, the first one comes from Brian. Hi, Rocio. First one comes from Brian, and the question is, why are most ships named after women? That is a good question, because I really honestly didn't know that. My first thought was maybe it's because of luck. You know, how women is bad luck on the ship, but at the bowsprit, they have the women figureheads. So I thought, well, maybe that was a luck thing. But I learned it wasn't. So let me tell you what I found out when I went in and did some searching and some research. Okay, and this is mild research, guys. This is not in depth. So if anybody has anything better to offer, please feel free to do so. Okay, this apparently, back in the day, the Germanic languages, this is true because I actually used to speak German, ein bisschen. Germanic languages, which are a lot of the European languages, and English is one, they have a gender assignment to their nouns. Hi, David. Clear in the UK. You can weigh in on some of this stuff. I'm not answering political questions, David. This is about books. You're such a tease. Sorry, I laugh at my phone shakes. Okay, so the Germanic languages, they have nouns that are given a gender. For example, in German, das Buch is neutral. There's no male or female assigned to that. El libro and le livre, which el libro I think is Spanish and le livre, I don't speak French, but I think that's French. Both of those are given male. A male pronoun to it, I guess you would say. And then die Bibliothek, sorry, that's German. That's and that means library in German. That has a female. So what this one site said is that because of the Germanic languages having the gender assigned to it, a lot of times the nouns stayed with a male or female. And I don't know, I should have looked up, but I don't know what the Latin or the German or the Spanish word for ship is, but I'll bet it's female. And it just stayed with the naming of the ships. Then I guess it progressed from there. So historically, after the languages played their role in it, a lot of the captains and a lot of those who owned the ships would name them after goddesses or mythical figures because they felt it brought better luck. And so, like, for example, they give this example online. If you had a fishing boat and you want to have a lot of luck, you would name your boat Diana because the goddess Diana, Libro is in Spanish. Thank you, Rocio. Oh, yeah, Rocio would know this totally. Hi, Chase. Oh, my goodness, Chase Darlington, how are you? And Mark Yeager, it's nice to see you guys. Anyway, the princess, so goddess Diana would bring luck because she was the goddess of luck, apparently, in some mythos. So that's why they would name it that way. Then there was this excerpt that I found that was a little more modern, meaning back in the Revolutionary era, 1776 type of era. They would name their boats in honor of the women in the captain's lives. So, for example, the gunboat Lady Washington, I'm reading this, was commissioned in 1776 and was the first American armed ship named for a woman. She was a row galley, a small wooden river gunboat built in 1776 by New York State to defend the Hudson River. It was named in honor of Martha Washington. She remained active under General George Washington's command through June of 1777. So, there's the boats. Hopefully that answered your question. Back in the pirate era, interestingly, a lot of the boats were named after, excuse me, sorry, were named after, like, say, what they were doing. So, like, Phillips commission, he took over a boat, stole it, and then, hi, Philip Long. Hi, Philip. He's going to be daddy. Yay. Anyway, so they would take, Captain Phillips, he took his boat and he was getting revenge on people, so he named it the Revenge. Blackbeard named his ship the Queen Anne's Revenge. So I'm guessing it's after Queen Anne, somewhere in the, I think he was British, somewhere in the British. Gosh, I don't know my history about Blackbeard like I should. Sorry, somebody that knows that, text it real quick. But anyway, he probably named it after Queen Anne and was getting revenge in her name. That's my guess. And that's how a lot of these come about. So if you look at some of those old boats, you'll see their names and you can kind of think about maybe what they were thinking after they plundered the boats. Okay, so the next one is, hopefully that wasn't a growl. Edward Teague, speaking of Blackbeard, he asks, how do we ever know that submissions are guaranteed safe? That is, not stolen, wink. Ideas and stories have often been pirated, double wink. And he's right. This is a big issue right now. And the American Association of Publishers and a lot of the publishing bigwigs are taking the Authors Guild, of which I am a member. They are taking this issue actually up all the way up to the White House. And they're talking about what they can do to prevent books and content from being pirated, because it's a serious problem. I don't have the answer. I'm not an attorney. There is, however, a really good friend of mine who I know is being brought on board with the publishing company I'm with Dulce Blant Publishing. And he is an attorney, and he has written several articles about copyright and the importance of copyrighting your written work. So I'm going to do a shout out to Mike Bierman. If you see this or get online, would you just kind of share your thoughts about copyright and why it's so important? And then I'll definitely send people to your book once it gets published so that they can read more about this, because it is a concern for a lot of authors, myself included. So I would recommend that you copyright everything you do. If there's a short story that you are concerned about being stolen or that means anything to you, that includes the novels. But like, for example, when I did We've All Got Ale, the Christmas story that I did, I copyrighted that. I've copyrighted the illustrations that are in all of my books. I've copyrighted other short stories and poetry and that kind of thing. All of that, the Christmas story that is the poem that goes out every year. Those are all copyrighted, and that's probably the best protection at this point that you can have. It costs $35 to copyright, no big deal. You just go on to the U.S. government copyright site, and they literally walk you through. And the one thing I've learned, you cannot copyright a character, and you cannot copyright a title. And I learned that the hard way because a few somebodies have actually taken my titles and have assigned them to their books. So if you Google Midnight Omen, you're going to see a whole lot of other Midnight Omens, and they're not my book. And if you Google the Deja Vu Chronicles even, you're going to see other books that are not mine. So for that reason, when you look for books, please, in honor of the author, take time to really look up the books and make sure that you're getting the right books. If you want to do that properly, you can use an ISBN number, and that will help you find it. But basically, copywriting is the best way to protect yourself. And my attorney, I talked to her about this a long time ago when okay, there's a doll. There is the doll. I have to tell you about this. It makes me so mad. Anyway, it is a product in Japan that was sold to Korea. And apparently they have a doll that they've created called the Midnight Deja Vu doll. How do you come up with that name? The doll is a female pirate with blue eyes and black hair. And when I wrote to the company and said, you are infringing upon a character that is copyrighted, which I know you can't copyright a character, but you can if the character is strong enough in a series, like for example, Gone with the Wind, anybody that writes a story about the South and a green-eyed gal that's very sassy and calls her Scarlet probably is going to get hit with the lawsuit because that character has been established enough that, you really can't go steal it. So, I can't say that about glittery vampires or some of the others, but Harry Potter. So that would be another one. So you get a little boy, he wears round glasses, has a lightning bolt on his forehead, or maybe instead of a lightning bolt, he has a star, and he is a wizard, and you call him Harry, or Harry Potter even. You're going to get nailed. So copyright's pretty stringent on a lot of things, but it doesn't, it's not a guarantee. It's just big ugly lawsuits that come about from it. So this doll, I write to the company and I'm like, you guys are borderline, pirating, sorry the pun, but basically pirating my characters. And the answer back from the company was that this is the queen that is in Sleeping Beauty. The one that says mirror, mirror on the wall. No, sorry, Snow White. The Snow White queen. The one that looks in the mirror and says mirror, mirror on the wall. So I wrote back and said, I don't ever remember her standing in front of a mirror wearing a pirate outfit. Crickets. No response. So basically they stole my character, Catherine, created a doll around her, hoped to sell it. It's the freaking ugliest doll I've ever seen. But if anybody wants to buy it, then, there you go. It's in Korea. Okay, so now my bitter is gone. My bitterness is gone. So back to the copyright. Please copyright your stuff. That's all I can say. Don't put anything out in the public venue anywhere unless it's copyrighted. I wouldn't even send it for submissions anywhere unless it's copyrighted. I know, tears. Don't cry. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. I thought of her. I can create more. So anyway, copyright. Apparently there is a big fine if you are convicted with copyright or stealing an item or stealing any kind of article. It's 5 years minimum in jail plus $100,000 plus fine. So if you get convicted of this federal crime, it's a big deal. And like I said, the American Association of Publishers and the Authors Guild, a lot of Writers Guild for screenwriting, all of that, they're in this fight to keep copyright protection in place for the author, which they should. So I'm really happy about that. Okay, so let's say you've got stuff out there, which has happened. I've got a few people, fellow authors that I know who have asked this question of me, what do I do? Because I'm seeing my stuff being stolen. So there's actually this, I have to read this because I looked this up and this is the information that she gave me. There's sites that will monitor your book stuff. Your book, I'm going to say book because that's what it is, but I think it monitors music, art, and possibly, I don't know, screenplays. I want to say possibly, but I don't know. That's almost a different business altogether. Anyway, okay, sites that will monitor music, art, and written work there's one called Lifehacker. There's Google Alerts. That's an easy one to set up. Everybody should probably have Google Alerts on their websites anyway, if you're serious. And just kind of keep an eye on who's going in and what they're getting and let them kind of alert you. They'll alert you if somebody's posting anything about you. It's a really good thing. Another one, David, this will be for you. In the UK, a London-based company called Blasty.co. Blasty.co. They do that. I don't know if these guys charge, but I know this last one I'm going to tell you about, which Deanna Jewell uses. She's the one who told me about it. It's free. And this one's called Torrent Freak. One word. Torrent, capital Freak. I will post the link to Torrent Freak on the website or on the comment section after we're done so that you guys can go in there if you're interested in look at it. Okay, so YouTube is now being used by pirates, not the kind we like, but these really bad stealing your stuff kind of pirates. It's being used to create video or audio for those who have audiobooks already out there. You can go into, it's called the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, the DMCA. They have a form you can fill out. So you can order a DMCA takedown notice, and it's this form, and you can get that and copy it and post it. And when you see them still in your stuff, or if you get their email it to them, whatever you do, but screenshot everything. Screenshot everything. Okay, don't try to download your books at the pirate links, as you'll be downloading malware, and the pirates connect to those links, so you might be hacked, aka. Having Amazon sell your books outside the country at their international sites can also lead to more chances of your books getting into the wrong hands where piracy is more prevalent. So you got to be careful. That said, my thought is, and I know I've got my book pirated out there somewhere, if somebody really likes the book, they're going to buy it. Like, I went to the library, picked up a book by Stephanie Meyer because I wanted to read her stuff again and just see kind of what she's done lately since her Twilight series. I didn't really care for the host. So anyway, so I got the new one that she's got out called The Chemist, and from the library. And if I like this book, I'm going to buy it. And I think that's true for most people. If they really like your book, they're going to go get a copy of it. You know, and if there's a problem and somebody really wants the book and they can't afford it, write to the publisher and tell them your situation. You know, look, I really love this book. I want a copy. I don't know how to get it. That was my predator. Sorry, let me turn that off. That's my alerts. Anyway, so write to the publisher, because a lot of times they'll work with you and help you with that. Or you can go to the library if you don't want to buy it, but you really want it in. Just ask the libraries to order it. And you have to have the ISBN number. So if you don't know what that is and you want it, again, the publisher will have that. Or you can go into like Barnes & Noble online or even Amazon online. They'll have the ISBN, but make sure you get the right ones, because my book is on a 3rd edition. So if you request the 1st edition, it's not in print. If you request the 2nd, I can't even talk today, sorry. If you request the 2nd edition, also not in print. So make sure you get the right ISBN. There's a different ISBN, which is just a catalog number for hardbound, for ebooks, and for paperback. So you really kind of have to be careful. If somebody wants to order my book anywhere and you want the ISBN number, let me know. I'll just give it to you. It's no big deal. Okay, hopefully that answered your question, Edward Teague, aka Blackbeard. Okay, Mary Harris, she asked the question that is posted on the title of this live feed. Mary is my editor. Well, she's Dulce Blant's editor, but I used her. She's so good. And Mary, she's actually really brilliant. She asked probably the hardest question out there. So Mary's question is, is there a way to identify trends? And I asked her to be specific about what she meant by trends. She came back and said that she wants to know, is there a way to identify what genres are most popular? For right now, that's a loaded question. I had to really look around to find it, and I ended up defaulting to Kirkus Reviews, because Kirkus is the company that does all the reviews for the books that libraries want, that, you know, that's what's going to really get a book placed well. They're very expensive to get a review. To get one, I mean, it's like $500 to get a Kirkus review. But these guys know what they're doing. So they have a list. They did a poll in 2016. I think it was like October-ish. And in this poll, that was the very question. What are the trends for 2017? There's publishers and there's agents that have weighed in on this answer. So I'm just going to read the name of the person and I'll tell you what they said. And you can draw your own conclusion, especially Mary. Okay. Nancy L. Quinn, I think she's a publisher, said self-discovery, healthy living, finding a formula for happy life. Melissa Larson and Tara Parsons, I think publishers, both said psychological thrillers. Kimberly Bauer, I can't predict, write what you're passionate about. So she just says, forget about worrying about trends, authors just write what's in your heart, what's in your mind. I tend to agree with that because you'll write better. Okay, Patrick Allen. He says popular history, food studies, art and architectural, the natural world, and the environment. I think he's a publisher. Martin Shepard. Book purchases are dropping because, oh, this is good. Okay, Martin Shepard said this. Book purchases are dropping because the new generation would rather surf the web than read. Alrighty then. Well, there's books on your phone. You can get e-readers for your phone and read that way. My daughter-in-law does that. Casey does that. Anyway, there you have it. So Martin thinks sales are dropping. I don't know if that's true or not. Well, I don't want to believe that's true, let's say. There are trends, I'll throw this out. AAP said that in their breakdown for 2016, apparently paperbacks are coming back, ebooks are dropping, children's books and YA are rising, and hardbounds are kind of holding their own. Audiobooks are skyrocketing. So that's a goal, is to try and get my book on ebooks. Audiobooks. Hopefully soon, fingers crossed. Okay, Elaine Meisner said history. Mandy Hubbard, YA with a specific emphasis on sci-fi and fantasy. That'll make Kiri Callahan feel better. She writes sci-fi, steampunk fantasy. Well, it's not really sci-fi. It's more steampunk fantasy. Good stuff. Lori Perkins said horror. Taylor Roseberry, philosophical and psychological thrillers. I think she's an agent. Caroline Casey, I have no idea. Ellen Geiger, kids and young adult books, psychological thrillers, again. I said that. Okay, Jay Mandel, I ignore trends. So do I, truthfully. I just write what I feel like writing. Okay, Sandy Lou, dark thrillers and psychological suspense. She is an agent. Kim Leonetti, I hate trends. Amber Caravello, I hate trends. Michelle Martin, self-help. Okay, there is a link to Kirkus review, this very article. I'm going to also share that in the comment section. So if anybody wants to go in and read further, you can. But it sounds like the trends that are predicted by publishers and agents across the board are indeed YA. Oh, my battery's dying. I don't even think I have a plug. I don't. Shoot. Okay, we'll do this fast. YA and psychological thrillers. So those of you who are writing, if you feel like you have to write to a trend, go for those genres. I would just recommend writing what you love because it'll be really good. Hi, David. Okay, last couple questions. What is the best way to buy books to support any author? That came through this morning. And honestly, it's a long answer, but I'm going to try and pare it down because I'm losing power. The best way to buy a book to support any author, honestly, is to go onto the publisher's site or the author's website and order a book there if you're an online shopper. If you're a brick and mortar store shopper, you need to find out where the book is, and you can do that by calling around. My books are in Los Angeles, Barnes & Nobles, in some local stores around California, in Savannah's Barnes & Noble, in a couple of local stores around Savannah, which is, again, where we're going. I can hardly wait. Let's see. Then if the book isn't there and you really want a book to be in a local store, just go ask them. Just go in there and ask to speak to the manager. Tell them you love this book, you've seen it, or you know the author, whatever, and you really want it. And if you do that, not only does that really support the store, bringing in additional revenue, but it also supports the author, because the more interest that is shown in a book, the quicker it will get into stores. So, and it'll mushroom. It'll be like dropping a pebble in a lake. It'll just spread out. So go ask. They'll do it. The other thing you can do if you want to support an author outside of buying a book is to write reviews. Reviews on Amazon, reviews on Barnes & Noble, reviews on their book sites, on Goodreads, on any bookstore that sells anywhere. Go find the book, Google the book's title, wherever you see it, then post a review. And you can just copy and paste the same review. It doesn't matter. But it really helps the authors. So reviews are huge. Thank you in advance. Okay, real fast. Ballyhoo-hoo. I have this for children. It's a great book. I got the illustrator to autograph a few of them, and I'm going to see if I can get Boone, who's the main character in there, to illustrate or to autograph his. I am still sending personalized letters with the wax seal at the bottom, because it's a pirate book. So we'll give you a letter of marque and mailing that to anybody who buys a book. So consider it. Go on to my website or onto Dose Blant Publishing's website and order the books, and I'll definitely send it to you. When I brought up Savannah, I did that on purpose because Savannah is where we're doing the Authors Con in March. It's going to be March, let me think what they've got scheduled. I think it's the 10th through I don't know what it is. I think it's the 10th through the 12th. 3 days that weekend. All kinds of book signings. There's going to be ones at Barnes & Noble. There's going to be one at the Pirate House. We're in the parade. So those of you who know about the Irish Heritage Festival, we are going to be in the parade, the authors are. So come do that on Tybee Island. And then afterward at Stingray's Seafood, we're going to have a party. So please join us. If you have any chance to get to Savannah that first weekend of March, please come. It would be so much fun to hang with you. And then the last question. Somebody had mentioned doing an online book club and doing it this way. We could live stream it. I don't know how we could set up, like a GoToMeeting or something like that, or whatever it is they do. If you're interested, please comment in the comment section. I need to know, yes, you're interested. No, that sounds stupid. If so, interested, what day and what time works, and we'll go with the majority wins. And I'll come join you. We'll talk about my books. We'll talk about other people's books. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. It'd be fun. I think it'd be really fun. All right. Phew. Hopefully my battery doesn't die before I say goodbye. Everybody have a wonderful week. Happy thoughts. Do one kind thing for someone you don't know, and do 2 kind things for 2 people you do know. I believe in karma. I think it will go around. All right. Happy week. Talk to you later, and have fun at the Super Bowl. All right. See ya.